Even after the competitors had a full weekend off, Mother Nature still lurks over the rally as Stage 7 saw a modified route. Sole American Ricky Brabeck wasn't going to let rain get in the way of his first Dakar win. In his second season with the Works Honda team, Brabeck smashed the stage.
I don't have any words to say because I've never won a stage. I wanted to do better than last week. Last week was rough for me and rough for the team. 5 days left of racing and a lot can happen.
Competition is heating up between Peugeot teammates, Monsieur Dakar Stefan Petterhansel and World Rally legend Sebastian Loeb.
We're fighting with Seb with a good speed. We won the stage but with a small gap, so it's like a nothing.
Everybody is trying to be faster than the other one, for sure, but the atmosphere is good. We share everything, all the information. We are here to work for Peugeot at first, but then when we are in the car, for sure, everybody is trying his best.
Let's see what the second half of the marathon stage has to offer. Stage 8 is next. Heading from a uni to Salta has some familiarity to it. Dakar has walked this ground before. That being said, it's still as beautiful, still as stunning, and still as demanding, especially when it's the second half of the one and only marathon stage in this year's rally. Get to the end of today, and there's help waiting. Not everyone is a fan of the Dakar in Bolivia, as some believe the country's resources and attention could be focused on more important issues. But you wouldn't know it by looking at these images. The Bolivian fans each year give the rally a warm and colourful welcome and send-off. And nobody's more passionate than the country's president, Evo Morales. It definitely gives the competitors a boost. Today was part 2 of the marathon stage, which sees an overnight stay not in the typical bivouac, where each driver and rider has their regular team of mechanics and helpers. Anything needed, they do on their own. It puts a premium on finishing day 1 in one piece, both man and machine. So eat, do your road books, and sleep. And although these sleeping arrangements look fairly basic, to most, it's paradise. The rider who slept the best was America's Ricky Brabeck. Not only did he make it to the halfway point of the marathon intact, he made it there the fastest and won his first Dakar stage.
It gives me a little push to do better, you know, being the only American, I have the speed.
America's Ricky Brabeck experienced something truly special.
I won a stage in Dakar, that's awesome. I don't have any words to say because I've never won a stage. I wanted to do better than last week. Last week was rough for me and rough for the team. With our penalty, you know, as a whole team, we made a mistake. I think we have a good chance still. You know, there's 5 days left of racing and a lot can happen.
And a lot has already happened when the bikes class was rocked on stage 4 by the sudden departure of reigning champ Toby Price with a broken leg. The good news for his KTM team is that one of Price's teammates, Sam Sunderland, is carrying the torch in his honour. The Brit is in the lead for the second consecutive day and looks comfortable. Day 9, but stage 8 sees the leg once again modified due to heavy rainfall. The first special will finish at checkpoint 1, which marks the end of the day's racing for the trucks. The bikes, quads and cars will go on and tackle the second time section, which is unchanged. Total distance 554 miles en route to Salta in Argentina. Yesterday, after the first part of the marathon stage, the bike riders made it to the pseudo bivouac in Uyuni, where they had the opportunity to work on their machines before heading to Salta in today's 8th stage. Everything the competitors can do to ensure they finish the second part is paramount. The marathon stage can be pivotal in the journey and the race.
The marathon stage is always is an important stage, and it always changes the whole rally. So we had to be careful out today, and I'm glad that we brought the motorcycle here in one piece, and I'm healthy. So looking forward to tomorrow's stage and going back to meeting our service.
With no assistance permitted, some riders worked late into the night to get everything ready for the morning. Today's 8th stage provided some of the most breathtaking scenery, but the veterans will tell you that only masks what lies ahead. Juan Barreda set off not long after his Honda teammates Ricky Brabeck and Paulo Gonçalves into the mist. It was another good day for the Spaniard, even if he got stuck in the mud at one point. He had the quickest time at the first checkpoint. KTM's Sam Sunderland headed into the stage just a few minutes before Barreda. The British rider led the rally by 17 minutes 45 seconds at the start of the day, and he stressed on several occasions how important it will be to keep his focus on these long, tricky navigational stages. KTM man finished 4 minutes down on Barreda at the first checkpoint. Juan Pedrero also made a strong start. The Stage 1 winner putting in a strong shift on his Sherco, second only to Barreda at the first time check. Laia Sanz is a 6-time winner of the women's category. Unsurprisingly, the Spaniard leads that classification again this year on her KTM. She was 15th fastest in the first section. Portuguese rider Joaquim Rodriguez is having a superb maiden Dakar. He's the other man riding the Hero Speedbrain along with CS Santos, who currently leads the rookie standings. The 2017 Dakar has been a family affair for the Nasiglias of Bolivia. Brothers Walter and Daniel making their debut in the bikes, while father Walter Sr. won a stage in the quads before retiring with mechanical issues. Walter Jr. with an impressive performance on the final stage in his home country. Being first on road today was brutal on US rider Ricky Brabeck. The memories of yesterday's victory erased quickly by difficulties with fog early in the day and then a fall in the sand while trying to clean his goggles. 12th was the result. His Honda teammate Michael Metsch was joined by his French compatriot Xavier Desaultres for the highest section of today's stage and the highest competitive passage of the whole Dakar. Desaultres was hit by a 6-minute penalty yesterday for arriving late into the stage, and these two guys reached an eye-watering 14,500 feet above sea level. An impressive ride from Matthias Walkner to come second, the Austrian, boosting his hopes of an overall victory. But there was no beating Barreda. The rider called Bang Bang becomes the first bike rider to win 2 stages at this year's rally. It was also impressive from Sunderland, who seems impervious to the pressure that comes along with leading the Dakar. He posted another top 3 stage result today. That's Barreda's 14th victory, meaning he's now tied for 10th on the all-time Dakar stage winners list in the bikes class. Honda also gets its 3rd win of the year, equaling KTM.
It was really difficult because there was the lines of the tracks from some years ago, and after it was raining, so it was really dangerous. And we take care in this part, and after that we was pushing more and more, and was really fun the last part in the World Rally Car tracks, and yes, we were really fun.
From the recent storms, the tracks were all puddles, so we had to go off track to get around them, and the fog was so bad you couldn't really see much more than 5 feet ahead of you. So you're wiping your goggles every 30 seconds, taking them off, putting them on. You know, I seen Paulo out there. We kind of rode side by side, pulled over, helped each other with goggles, and we just had fun today. Did I do anything to celebrate my first victory? Nope, just ate bivouac food and marked my road book.
Ricky remains 12th overall. Remember, he's aiming for 8th. Up front, Sunderland has grown his advantage over Quintanilla to almost 21 minutes, with Yamaha's Van Beveren in just his 2nd Dakar, 3rd. The word legend is used far too often. That is, unless you're referring to Stefan Peter Hansel and Sebastian Loeb. The 2 French off-road icons are staging a masterclass in the cars, so you better pay attention. Like the bikes, the cars class is also in the middle of this marathon stage, meaning no matter what your standing is between stages 7 and 8, first or last place, there is no service crew to assist you. The bivouac in Uyuni is closed to mechanics, and all repairs must be made by the drivers and co-drivers themselves.
On a une petite fuite à
We have a little hydraulic radiator leak, but we're going to sort it out.
Donc voilà,
We're going to find the solution. At worst, we can just block the leak and it'll work
on
fine.
va trouver la solution.
Hopefully, everything will go okay.
Si on n'arrive pas à le réparer, ça fonctionnera quand même. Donc, a priori, ça devrait bien se passer.
Teammates will try to work together, sharing parts and knowledge on this overnight.
Okay. Change.
The car cut out when we slowed down. We're going to work out what the problem is and sort it out.
Previously, the cars battle has been between two racing legends, WRC champion Sébastien Loeb, with 2 stage wins thus far, and Peugeot teammate and 12-time Dakar champ Stefan Peter-Hansel, the overall leader.
And we know that the driver of the Peugeot, they are probably good, not the best, but the team is very strong.
We were for Peugeot at first, but then when we are in the car, for sure, everybody is trying his best.
Tomorrow, this is the second part of the marathon stage, a long part, and I will open the road, so maybe it's not a good strategy.
It's easy to see why the overall is so tight between Peter-Hansel and Loeb. In each stage, the margin between the two has been well under 10 minutes, at times under 1 minute. Tuesday morning, and it's out of the city and to the starting line. But the altered course has left some concern.
We're going to go through places that were already complicated 3 days ago. I don't know if it will be different going the opposite way. After a marathon stage, the cars have suffered, so there's stress. Off we go.
The day will begin in Bolivia and end in Argentina. And from the start, it's clearly going to be muddy and tricky. The first casualty is Eric Bernard, his machine up on its side after only 14 miles. For the top buggy, it's a crushing blow. And as much brute strength Bernard and his co-driver have, they will need some help.
It was slippery because of the mud. We went sideways and we hit the pampas grass, and the first bump put me into another one.
They flag down another Frenchman, Romain Dumas, who stops to help get them back on 4 wheels. Dumas doesn't want to stop very long, but he does so that both cars can race on. Facundo Arduzo is one of Argentina's best-known touring car drivers, making his Dakar debut behind the wheel of his Renault Duster. He's currently 24th overall. Another rookie is Peru's Nicolas Fuchs, supported by Nasser Al-Attiyah. 2-time champ is no longer here, but his Henry Racing Ford stands 15th overall. Second highest rookie last year, Martin Prokop climbs up more than 12,000 feet in his F-150 Evo Ford and finished 11th on the day. Last week, Yazid Al-Raji almost retired due to severe altitude sickness, but doesn't seem as bothered by the heights today, taking 10th spot. Meanwhile, Orlando Terranova equaled his best finish of this Dakar, 6th place. Perhaps it's the return home to Argentina. Once again, the Mini of Mikko Hirvonen was the fastest non-Peugeot on the day, carrying a lot of speed over the dunes of a Uni, 4th on the stage, but unable to gain time. Also running out of time is Toyota, who came with 3 former champs. Nani Roma started 3rd today, but could only manage 7th at the finish. While Janil de Villiers followed up a 3rd place yesterday with 5th today, but it may not be enough to reach the peak of the French fleet. And here they are, Stefan Peter-Hansel, overall leader and on the drive for his 13th Dakar. There's no such thing as cruise control in this rally, but if there was, Peter-Hansel looked like he was on it until he stopped late in the stage and gave up 3 minutes. 5-time bike champion Cyril Dupre has less car experience than Peter-Hansel and Loeb, and just when one thought he might have been out of it, Dupre kept up with his teammates today for 3rd place. But it was Loeb's turn, and he attacked the shortened stage from the start. He matched Peter Hansel's time through the first two waypoints, and when his teammate stopped, Loeb pounced and won the stage by more than 5 minutes. It's the third win out of 7 stages this year for Loeb, and the Lion is roaring. Peugeot sweeps a 1-2-3. It's also 6 wins in succession for the French manufacturer.
I tried really hard today because it was some WRC tracks, very fast section, nearly only on the track. So I tried really to make the gap. 80 kilometers from the end, I had to change the wheel, and Peter passed again. Still a good stage. We have to continue like this.
But we get a puncture, so we lose 3 minutes to change the tire. And after Seb was just in the front of me, I tried to follow him, but you know, in this kind of condition, the last 300 kilometers was really like a WRC track. In this condition, it's not easy to follow him.
The first part of the stage was started off in the dunes, quite nice, but very, very high altitude, so it was not easy for us with our engine. We really struggled.
Loeb and Peter Hansel trade the overall lead again, but the margin's only 1:38. By beating Roma by 8 minutes, Dupre reclaims the last podium position for Peugeot as well. And good to report, quadruple amputee Philippe Croizon is still racing. Dmitry Sotnikov won his first career stage yesterday for the mighty Kamaz. Is he the new face of the legendary Russian truck team? Find out when we come back. You're watching the 39th Dakar Rally here on your home of motorsport, NBCSN. As they do each year, the mighty trucks of the Dakar have given plenty of enjoyment so far, and they just keep delivering. The driver making the big jump up the leaderboard, Dmitry Sotnikov of the Russian Kamaz team, who scored his first career stage win yesterday, charging like the Red Bull on his side. Stage 8 may have been shortened to only 108 miles for the trucks because of the condition of the terrain, but it's still long enough to cause problems for leader, overall leader, Gerard de Roy, who lost 7 minutes. That was a Dutch treat to the youngest pilot of the Kamaz squad, Sotnikov, who with 4th place today takes the overall lead. Is Sotnikov the next chapter in Kamaz history? Eduard Nikolaev knows what it's like to be the toast of Moscow. He won the Dakar in 2013 and is trying to place more than one Kamaz on the podium. Only 42 seconds off the lead, he finished 3rd today. Even though De Roy had an off day, one of his Iveco trucks made up for it. Argentina's Federico Viagra closed in on home country with second best time of the stage, only 17 seconds slower. The stage of over 100 miles was contested in a sprint and won by Dutchman Martin van den Brink, the second of 2017. You might remember the story of his truck burning down last year, so you can understand why returning and winning means so much to this team. Sotnikov and Nikolaev both leaped De Roy in the overall. It's been a feast or famine rally for Van den Brink, 39th overall with 2 wins, but he's also had 2 stages where he's finished more than 5 hours off the lead. Yesterday in the quads, it was the end of the line for Gustavo Gallego.
It's an electrical issue. The circuit is cut, and I can't find the problem.
In spite of his efforts, the Argentinian wouldn't get going again on this marathon stage, his Dakar coming to an end just before the return to home soil. On to today's stage, and disaster was set to strike for Simon Witz. The Frenchman, running 2nd overall in his maiden Dakar, was also forced to retire because of a mechanical issue with his Raptor 700. Overall leader Sergei Karyakin is really coming together, all while taking in some absolutely breathtaking scenery as well. The Russian finished 4th last year, but as the 3 men who were ahead of him decided not to run this year, he came in as the favourite. He's certainly living up to his billing so far and set the pace to beat on stage 8 by winning. Frenchman Axel Dutry trailed Karyakin by just over 5 minutes at the start of the day. He was second fastest at the first checkpoint. But it was 2014 winner Ignacio Casale who made the strongest start. The Chilean had the quickest time in the first special, and he looked to close the gap on Kariakin and Dutry. It looks increasingly, though, as this will be a three-rider fight for glory. Kariakin becomes the first quad rider to lead overall on consecutive days, and in fact it's the third time he's led overall after being top man earlier in the rally after stage 4. It's close though, so he can't get too comfortable. When Dakar 2017 returns, you get to ride shotgun. The highs, the lows and everything in between from the competitor's point of view. Of course, the Dakar is serious stuff, but who said there couldn't be a little fun?
We also broke the rear transmission. It's somewhere around here. Normally there's a bar here. Well, I don't know where it is now.
So what's your prediction? Can Sunderland, who's never finished a Dakar, win the bikes, while a grandstand finish awaits no matter who wins from Peugeot, assuming it will be a Peugeot driver, but the odds are in their favour. The trucks have been fabulous this year and only 220 covers the top 3. It's anyone's. And the quads have pretty much made it a three-rider race as well. Weather has been a real issue on this year's Dakar. For the 5th consecutive day, stages have been affected. Now, this landslide has prevented all trucks from reaching tonight's bivouac. Therefore, tomorrow's 9th stage has been cancelled and will now be utilised as a regrouping day to enable the field to begin again in unison on stage 10 in Chilecito. We wish everyone a safe journey. While the remaining competitors take the 10-hour travel day from Salta to Chilecito, join us tomorrow for more updates from the 39th Dakar Rally. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. For our entire NBC Sports team, I'm Lee Diffie, saying thanks for taking the Dakar journey with us.